Welcome back to Mike Warriors. I am User Unknown, joined by Hydrate. Hydrate, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Hydrate, as you all already know. And as he said, that is User Unknown, otherwise known as UCW, my co-host. UCW, why don't you walk us through the first fight of what is sure to be a stacked Brawl 65?
So Brawl 65 is going to start off with a heavyweight fight between Adam Thomas and Jay Prince. Jay Prince, as we discussed last time, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters coming out of the amateurs and coming off the street into SMFC against Adam Thomas, who is currently 0-1. He took an incredible loss to John Styles. It was an incredible switch kick last week. Hopefully Jay Prince doesn't do the same to him. I'm kind of rooting for Thomas, but knowing Jay Prince, it's going to be a lot of hard punches.
I would have to agree. We haven't seen Jay Prince in an official SMFC octagon yet. But from what we've heard and from the snippets we've seen off camera and off air, Jay Prince is a force to be reckoned with, and this is going to be an unpredictable fight. Personally, I'm going to go with Adam Thomas for the win. I don't think Jay Prince is going to get a win straight out of the gate, as that is not a very common occurrence here in SMFC. A lot of people start off with a loss.
With Adam Thomas's performance in the last fight, with how slow he was moving and how easily telegraphable some of his hits were, I'm not going to count Jay Prince out, but I am hoping Thomas also walks out with the W.
All right, moving on to our next fight, we have a veteran who not too long ago was fighting for the title, Colt Steele, versus the up-and-coming Randall Radcore. Randall Radcore made his debut last show and won his first fight with a simple yet effective jab to the face. He's looking for his second straight win, while Colt is coming off of a mini hiatus and would love to make another statement. UCW, what are your thoughts on this fight?
I think we find out if Randall Radcore is real in this one. I think we find out if the jab to the face was just a little bit of a fluke in the last fight. Here he has somebody with a lot more experience who's going up against. This guy's taken punches. This guy's been in fights. He's been in the title picture before. I think we find out if Radcore is who he looked like in his last fight with this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight for sure. You want to walk us through the next fight on the card? It's sure to be a big one.
We've got another heavyweight fight between Gomez and Styles. Gomez is a veteran here in SMFC with 11 knockouts. Styles obviously making his debut with that switch kick against Adam Thomas last week, or in the last Brawl. It wasn't last week. Can Styles burn through Gomez, or was Gomez's knockout power, which he's obviously proven in 11 fights, will that come through, and will he kind of put Styles back into his place?
Yeah, I have to agree with some of your points there. Styles made one hell of a statement when he debuted with that jumping switch kick knockout, but this is a big test for him. Gomez has been in the title picture multiple times, has come within a breath of holding the gold, and is consistently known as one of the most dangerous men on the entire SMFC roster out of both divisions. This is going to be a really big sink or swim test for John Styles, and I'm going to have to predict that Michael Gomez humbles the rookie.
I think Styles wants that spot that Gomez is currently in. I think this is a really big test for him, and if he's able to walk out with a W, I think more eyes are going to be on Styles than even me or you might be able to understand at the current moment. Because, I mean, that switch kick has everybody watching him. If he's able to deliver once again against Gomez, I think that's honestly a rocket jump in video game terms for him as far as popularity.
That is true. And then in our next fight, we're moving over to the middleweight division. We have Dad Trainer versus Yagani Yatoni. Both guys are veterans here in SMFC, and both have not exactly been doing well as of late. Both coming off of losses, and Dad Trainer in particular coming off of a title fight loss against Walter Brooks. UCW, what are your thoughts on these two people, and who do you think might take the win?
Fights like this are really where you find out who a fighter is. Dad Trainer coming off a loss against Brooks. You've got Yotani, who's been kind of there and then not there, a little wishy-washy in his performance. This is where you find out if Dad Trainer is going to bounce back from the loss, or if it's something that's going to consume him for a little while. We see a lot of fighters in this business who they lose in the championship picture, they don't win, and they continuously don't win because of that same mental strain that they took from losing that championship match. So we find out right here if Dad Trainer is still the same Dad Trainer that we know, or if he's going to start falling down a little bit.
You make some good points there. This is going to be a bit of a prove yourself kind of fight. See if they both still have it. See if one of them is maybe losing their edge. And talking about losing your edge or proving you still have it, you want to walk us through that next fight?
We've got Andy Knight versus Alex Behemoth. Andy Knight's first fight since his first professional loss, which was a shocker for everybody who was there. I don't think any of us were expecting it to end that way. Behemoth is absolutely unpredictable, and going up against Andy Knight, I'm not sure what we're going to see there. My main question is, did losing sharpen Andy's blade, or did it dull it? Is he going to not know how to react to losing? Is he going to be off pace? Was his training camp not the same? Did they focus on what he didn't do right in that fight and not prepare for the fight coming up? There's a lot of things that go into that kind of fight, especially when you have a previously undefeated fighter.
Yeah, and not to mention his opponent is one of the more unpredictable members of SMFC in Alex Behemoth. Alex Behemoth has been a bit of a journeyman in SMFC. He's been in the middleweight division, he was in the light heavyweight division, and now he's in the heavyweight division. He has been in title pictures once or twice, not in the heavyweight division though, and he's a bit of a flip-flop kind of guy. You can never really expect if he's going to win or if he's going to lose. So I think if Andy Knight is anything but focused and sharpened after his first loss, then Alex is going to find the mistake, find the hole in Andy Knight's game, and exploit it. I'm going with Alex Behemoth for this fight.
I gotta disagree. I think Andy Knight bounces back. I think he slipped up. I think things went just a little too wrong. As much as I questioned his training camp, I think the power that he's obviously shown, it was his first professional loss. He was previously undefeated. I'm hoping for the bounce back. I completely see what you're saying, though, with Behemoth. It's a risky fight. Yeah, like you said, if Knight isn't completely focused on what he needs to be doing, if, like I said, the training camp focused too much on what he didn't do right in his previous fight and didn't focus enough on the fight that he has in front of him, we could very easily see Alex Behemoth win.
Yeah. Moving up to the middleweight division once again, we have the now former SMFC middleweight champion James McMahon versus the rookie Timothy Collins. This is a classic veteran versus rookie story. This is a big test for Collins, who has been rather disrespectful to SMFC veterans as of late in his past few fights. You want to enlighten the fans on that a little bit, UCW?
So Collins, like you said, very disrespectful. He knocked out Greg Hayes, had a little bit of taunting that happened after the match. He really didn't seem to care about the fact that he had just laid out one of SMFC's greatest. Moving into a fight with McMahon, it's pretty obvious that he still doesn't care. He's not really focused on what's going on with him. He's just focused on showing up, getting paid, walking out with a W, and then going back home, going back to training. And as much as I don't appreciate it, I can appreciate that style of fighting where he knows he's the man, he knows he can show up, he knows what he's capable of, and he's determined to get that W, walk out, and leave.
Yeah, Timothy Collins, if he can prove that last week wasn't a fluke, there might be a little less noise from his doubters and from the people claiming that he was just being disrespectful. He might be able to add a little oomph to his claims and to his actions if he can knock out McMahon. However, James McMahon is the one person in SMFC you can never truly count out of a fight. He proved that when he knocked out Walter Brooks in 19 seconds back at Brawl 60 to win the title, albeit losing it at Brawl 62 back to Brooks. And he is known for most of his knockouts happening in crazy ways. Jumping switch kicks, roundhouses, you name it, James McMahon does it. I think that this is going to be a very interesting fight overall, and I think James McMahon is not only going to take the fight, I think he's going to give us the knockout of the night.
So I have a follow-up question for that, or two questions actually. If Collins can win this, like you said, he has a little bit more oomph to his name, but do you think there's even a possibility of a conversation where he could be the future of the middleweight division? And with McMahon's unpredictable knockout styles, the way that they come out of nowhere, the quickness that he's been able to deliver them with, do you think that McMahon walks out with knockout of the night?
For your first question, I would have to say maybe, because Timothy Collins, he's a bit of a middle-of-the-road kind of fighter. He hasn't had too many wins, too many losses. Granted, he's still new, still young. but I would have to say this would, if he wins here, move him into prospect territory. As for McMahon, yes, I would have to say that he will get knockout of the night if he wins, which I personally believe he will.
Okay. I agree with both of those statements.
Moving on
to our next fight, we've got Malkova versus Rodriguez. This is a heavyweight 5-round special. Championship fight rules, no championship on the line. We actually had Malkova turn down a title fight for this opportunity. Pablo has been suggesting that this fight could be his final fight. There's a lot of things on the line. What are your thoughts?
This is a lot to take in. As a longtime viewer of the company, Pablo Rodriguez has always been one of the workhorses, not really one of the more well-liked people. He's not exactly popular with a lot of fans or with a lot of the fellow fighters, but he's always been there, always giving it his best. He's been in the title picture himself a couple of times, but now his career, it seems, is winding down to its end, and in what will very possibly be his last fight ever under SMFC, he's getting his dream fight, the one he's been asking for months, and he's getting Hassan Malkova in a 5-round special. Now, as for who wins, who gets a knockout, this and that, I think it's pretty obvious to a lot of people, and this is my personal opinion, that Hassan Malkova is just on a completely different level, and this is more about how long Rodriguez will be able to survive rather than if he can get a win. Because, in my opinion, Hassan Malkova is going to win this fight with a knockout, but I think that we're going to see a bit of a real steel performance, if you will, from Pablo Rodriguez here tonight. He's going to be
resilient. Oh yeah, double uppercuts and all. I think we're going to see some crazy things come from him. Do you think that this is as you said, this is a dream fight for him? Do you think this is a worthy Legends farewell? As you said, he's been one of the tenured workhorses of SMFC. He's been one of the most reliable guys in the locker room, in the back. You can always count on him to do the work, do the training, and show up and do his fights. Malkova also seems to have shown the same respect to him by turning down an opportunity at the championship to have this match with him. With that being said, though, I do think that it definitely kind of seals the deal on the fact that it might be Pablo's last match. Last fight. Because why else would Malkova show him that honor?
I really don't know. It's gonna be... There's a chance that it's a bit of a tearjerker of a fight to watch. And that much we know. And anyway, to keep the show rolling here, moving on to our co-main event of the night, we will have a middleweight bout between Adrian Wilkins and Kobu Pantheon. Both of these guys were absolute workhorse veterans. Wilkins has been iffy ever since he lost the title a long time ago to Burrow Daniels. He's been rising, he's been falling. It's like the curse of Wilkins, as it's called in the SMFC community. Kobu Pantheon, for the most part, has been struggling ever since he moved to the middleweight division, but is riding off of a huge front kick knockout victory in his last fight. This is going to be a fight of the diehards, of the people who never want to say die. And this fight, I'm going to predict it right now, regardless of who wins, is going to end with a massive kick to the head.
Oh, I don't think it lasts long at all. I think this is going to be one of the quickest fights of the night. Wilkins is either going to overpower him and just knock him out, or you're going to see something crazy from Pantheon, and he's just going to pop his foot out, and then Wilkins is going to be on the ground. I don't think this makes it out of the first round. Yeah, this is going to be a first round brawl. Both men, like I said, probably really use this win. And to my point earlier, and to yours, it's going to be a short fight. Both men, dangerous. Kobu could pop out a kick. Wilkins could pop out kicks of his own. These men, we're going to see some fancy footwork in this lightning round match, if you will. Will Wilkins coming off of a loss have any impact on his performance? Do you think that it might knock him down? Do you think that he's going to be more determined to prove the fact that he is the veteran that we all know him as?
I think that fire Wilkins kind of has it still, and that he will be determined to show that. But I also think that this is a bit of a proving ground for Wilkins in a sense, because he's up there in the rankings, sure. He's always been dangerous. We can never truly count him out. But ever since he lost the title all that time ago, he's never quite been the same. So every single fight from now until he eventually possibly works his way back up to the title, I think it's a massive proving ground for him that the fire did not die when he lost the title to Burrow Daniels.
I agree.
Moving on.
Last up, we've got Rhodes versus Brown. A heavyweight championship match. This, I believe, is the first match for the heavyweight championship since it has been changed to the heavyweight championship from the light heavyweight championship. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that is correct, I do believe. Dustin
It's a
Rhodes.
rematch from Brawl 61.
Yep.
Correct.
This is a rematch from Brawl 61 where Dustin Rhodes beat Braden Brown for what was then the light heavyweight championship. The light heavyweight division since being turned into the heavyweight division. All these guys have gained some pounds and have gained some more power behind their punches and their grappling. This is a rematch that we've been looking forward to ever since Brawl 61. And who do you think takes the victory? Who do you think has the edge? Who do you think has more to prove?
So, Rhodes got the upset on Brown to take the belt. We all know that. Rhodes has defended the title and silenced doubters multiple times. He's got Brown is a multi-time champion with a highlight reel knockout. He's seeking revenge. There's so many different layers to this fight right here that it's a little hard to pull apart, because you got a man who has proven time and time again that he can be a champion, that he can knock people out, that he can do it in style, and then you've got a guy who has proven that he can beat him, and he's done it multiple times, and he's silenced doubters in the process since he has beaten him. This isn't just about a belt. This is rewriting history for SMFC. This is rewriting history for Brown, and this is continuing to write the legacy for Rhodes.
You make some really good points there, and I'm going to have to add in another point that we're going to have to think about, that the fighters are going to have to think about. Whoever wins this fight and walks out with the heavyweight championship most likely is going to have Hassan Malkova breathing down their necks. Do you think that's going to play a factor in this fight with the looming threat of the silverback gorilla? What do you think?
Rhodes might, I see what you're saying. Rhodes, it might be an intelligent decision for Rhodes to drop the title here. You still give his all, still go for the fight, but not go into it with the winning mindset. Let Brown be the one to take on Malkova. If Brown can beat Malkova, well, Rhodes has proven that he can beat Brown. Maybe that's a little easier for him if he's scared of Malkova. However, we've seen him multiple times. We've seen Rhodes do this. We've seen him defend it. We've seen him silence doubters. We've seen him tell everybody, I don't really care what you have to say. I know I can walk in and win. I don't think against Malkova he's going to behave any differently, but Malkova is a completely different beast to Brown. Malkova is one of the best fighters that we've ever seen.
True. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our card, but we do have one more talking point. In the post-fight press conference for Brawl 64, the CEO, Dustin Hunter, had some pretty interesting statements in regards to what we said on last week's episodes. Care to comment, UCW?
So he said that we might be speculating it too much, essentially. He said that he is a former fighter, and as I said in that episode, he could just genuinely be getting in better health for his own well-being, because it's a good thing to live a healthy lifestyle. However, the way that he said it and the smirk on his face and talked to me after after this brawl, we might be seeing more from him. I'm not giving up the rumor. I'm not giving up the speculation. I think we see Dustin Hunter back in the SMFC.
I would have to agree with you. He's teasing it a little too much while denying it a little too much.
He's playing with us specifically while letting everybody else see him play with his food. I think he comes back.
Yeah. Whatever division he comes back to is not going to be ready, because he retired with a massive winning streak of 9 fights. And then he came back for the one-off at Brawl 60 in the catchweight fight. So if you count all of his fights, he's technically on a 10-fight win streak. So if he comes back, no matter what division he comes back to, people are in trouble.
Oh, it definitely. I think that he's been hinting at it for so long because he's trying to set everybody on notice. What he hasn't done is let anybody see how actually cut he is underneath that suit jacket. There's no real way to tell how much he weighs right now.
It's something we're only gonna have to keep speculating, and we can keep speculating next week, because that wraps it up for our show. I've been Hydrate. That's been UCW. We've been the Mike Warriors. Have a good time.
Make a choice.